Welcome back to the pod you're looking for. I'm Sam. This is Josh, and oh baby, oh my goodness,
we're here.
The time has come.
James Gunn has done miracles on me.
It is the summer of Superman, my friend. Oh my goodness, it is the time.
Usually we stall a little bit. I think we get right into it today.
I don't even want to waste any time. We'll do the news. We got a loaded episode for you guys today. We got first of all, episode 7. I will say this: we want to cut to the chase of Superman. I will say this: they say that podcasts who don't make it to episode 7 are not built to last. Just want to say,
seven's the number.
Not only is it 7, it's the Superman episode. We're bigger than we've ever been. We've got a full episode for you guys today. I'm feeling good about it.
Yeah, I'm feeling so excited.
This train is choo-choo chugging along, and we're going to keep it going. We got a Superman review. We're going to talk about Superman for like 30 to 40 minutes. We'll start with spoiler-free, then we'll go to spoilers.
Yep.
We'll give our rating out of 10 off rip. Once that's done, we'll go through some news around the movie and TV industry. And then we got a new game for you guys that we're going to play, and then we'll wrap things up just in time for the hype to transition over from Superman to Fantastic Four in the coming weeks.
Yes.
I can't even believe it. I'm getting whiplash from all the different stuff. I got the Superman shirt. I got a Fantastic Four shirt underneath. I just got to take it off.
I think I might have to order some, dude. You're getting me in. You're getting me in.
We're going for broke here. We're going for broke. Subscribe to the Patreon that doesn't exist.
Yes. It's coming. It's coming.
Okay. We just saw Superman last night. I saw it with my family. You saw it with our buddy Cam?
Yes. And every time we've watched it, we've always said we have not seen each other, we haven't talked. We've actually had the opposite. We've seen each other quite a bit since then, and it's been excruciating to have to
a little more than I think we should have.
Yes.
We played some Fortnite last night together. We were both dressed as Superman, which made it harder. and then today we were at the gym together.
Yeah.
Which is like, how do you work out with somebody after seeing a movie and not talk about it? But we
did it. Yeah, we did it.
Life finds a way.
But here's the time. So, should we go ahead and get into our rating here?
I would love to.
And as always, 1 decimal point. Everyone knows the rules.
You know the rules. Could be anything. It could be a 5. It could be a 10. It could be a 5.10. It could be a 10.5.
All right. Our rating of Superman. 3, 2, 1, 8.6.
8.6.
9.4.
Wow, dude.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we'll start with
the
non-spoilers. All right. You want to get right into it?
Yeah. Do you want to start with positives here?
I would love to start. No, actually, I want to start with negatives, I think. Because I have much less negative to say about this movie than positive.
Okay.
Go for it.
All right. Well, actually, I'm going to work it in. I'm going to work it double. Because I have the first point that I want to touch on is both.
Okay.
I'll say, first off, Lex Luthor being Hater of the Year was incredible. That his performance, Nicholas Hoult, was incredible in this movie, I felt like. He had me worked the whole way. And I would say there was a transition point where something happened in the movie where then they lost me a little bit. Just a little bit.
Okay.
And again, I'm nitpicking. This is nitpicking. This is because it's an 8.6 still in my mind, not a 5 point something, you know? So this is a small thing.
Sure.
But do you know what I'm talking about? There was a scene specifically where he does something to really hurt Superman toward the middle-ish movie, middle of the movie, a little bit beyond that, where something happens, and I felt like that was awesome. And then they were playing into this whole card of him being outsmarting Superman in every way, right? Because he's not a physical presence at all. He's just doing that. And then I felt like that whole side of him being all smart kind of went out the window.
Okay.
And I felt like they kind of moved away from that. So the first half of the movie, I'd say he was fantastic. And I'd still say he was pretty good across the board. But the ending kind of ruined it for me a little bit. And I don't know how to get more into that, I guess, without saying specifically what happened.
Right.
But for the most part, I mean, he was great. I'd say in some ways he might be the biggest positive of the movie, outside of the obvious one. But yeah, just the ending of that. His ending as well. The ending of the movie was not my favorite. With him specifically, not as a whole, just the way he went out was not my favorite.
The end of his arc in this movie. Okay.
Yes. So that was that. Do you want to give me?
You gotta have some more negatives if it's an 8.6.
8.6.
Or can you not dig right into it?
It's tough to nail it. The other thing I would say, this is not on the movie, I guess. This is a negative that comes with it. But the post-credit scenes, man. I guess we'll come back to that. We can come back to that. But that left me a little disappointed.
Okay.
That left me a little disappointed. I'll say it. And I know that's not the movie. I know that doesn't factor in.
Well, you know what? I will say, I think if there's one thing that you want to kind of like unapologetically brief somebody on in a spoiler-free review, it's to let them know whether they should sit through 20 minutes of credits. Like, I feel like that's a fair thing.
Yeah.
And not even to tell them what happens, but just to say whether it's worth their time or not.
It's not worth your time.
You could look these up after the fact.
Yeah.
And still be okay.
Definitely. Get into bed 10 minutes early. That's for the better.
Yeah.
Brush those teeth. Get the popcorn grease off your teeth.
Do you want to take us through some positives here?
Well, I would
there's a lot.
I would
There's
love to
a lot
start
to
with the
go through.
negatives on my end.
Okay.
That
All right.
dock 0.6 away.
Okay.
From my
All right.
10, my
All right.
perfect 10. I feel, without going into the specifics, of course, yet, that, and I want to take this time to apologize to the audience, to James Gunn, personally. I came out on this podcast, I think episode 2, 3, something like that. 4? I don't know. And I said something to the effect of, I didn't know if I trusted James Gunn with a character like Superman. I didn't know if he could handle something like this. And I didn't know if DC could succeed post-Superman. And my negative is also a positive. Because I was wrong about just about all of it. I was wrong about not trusting James Gunn. I was wrong about doubting the future of this universe and the opportunities it has to build itself out. I don't know how far off I was with James Gunn's humor, and I feel that a lot of the humor in this movie falls flat. I feel that I could it wasn't humor so bad that I couldn't tell when it was humor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it didn't fly over my head.
Yeah.
It often just came at moments where I was like, I don't know if a joke improves the quality of the scene.
Yeah.
It's less that it detracted. It just didn't improve.
We'll see
you almost feel like he's just like packing a joke into certain scenes just to be. It's just his James Gunnism.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I totally agree.
Like all the James Gunn isms in this movie, where it's like the humor at inopportune moments, or like the lighthearted elements in what would otherwise be a darker sequence or a darker setting. Like the contrast, like that's James Gunn's thing. Like his whole MO. It felt odd at times, and it definitely. It didn't take away from the emotion of anything. It didn't take away, like I see some people saying it took away from like the emotional beats. It didn't. It just really didn't improve anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It didn't improve
totally.
the quality of anything.
Totally. And that kind of ties in with what I was saying about the ending. There's a specific thing that they almost make a big moment at the very end where you get really cool dialogue between characters, and then it immediately gets like eliminated by a joke.
Yeah.
And that was part of what made me upset. That was the ending thing that I'm talking about.
Okay.
That was a little bit like,
Okay.
all right, yeah. But I totally see that point. Totally see that
And
point.
I want to talk about that scene when we get to spoilers.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Oh man. Okay, so positives.
Positives.
Right off the bat, spoiler-free positives. Go for it.
Well, I know I just mentioned it before, and I'll just put a pin in this, but you said coming into this that you wanted one of your biggest wish list things for Superman was for Lex Luthor, like a very convincingly good Lex Luthor. And I
Yeah.
think he definitely was.
I was worried he wouldn't be, because Nicholas
Yeah.
Hoult has never played that like brooding, dark, evil person. He's kind of just been, I don't know. He's kind of got like a timid vibe to him a little bit. So it just was weird to picture him as Lex Luthor. He looked great bald, but like that was about where it ended for me. But like I just couldn't figure out how it was going to work. But
That being said, go for it.
Yeah, no, I thought he was great.
I did too.
He was very good. I also loved the dynamic that they had between Lois and Clark. I thought they were very good together. It was convincing to me. I was so ready to be done with Amy Adams.
you didn't like her at all. as
No,
Lois.
I did not like that
Okay.
at all.
Okay.
Getting to move on from that, I thought that they had a good dynamic together. I loved their interview scene. I thought that was very good.
I like that they let that go on too.
Yeah, it felt good.
It's a lengthy scene and it pays off. It's cool.
The whole movie is just a lot of fun. And I think that's where, I don't know for you, the couple critiques I do have, I think that's where I was kind of going back and forth in my head is, do I really want to press those forward as much, or should I just sometimes just enjoy the fact that it was a really fun movie?
Yeah.
And it was.
Yeah.
A lot of action, a lot of really cool fight scenes. Visually looked amazing.
James Gunn has such a unique style. And I was worried that it wouldn't translate. I was worried. The two things that immediately, like you mentioned it, the two things that stood out to me off the bat, as most movies do, the cinematography and the score. I was worried that the cinematography wouldn't really suit something like Superman because James Gunn specializes in those like slow-mo scenes, close-up, like extreme close-up. Like, and he you saw him find his footing as the Guardians movies went on, but his vision really involves a lot of like extreme close-up, intimate shots of the characters. And I was trying to think to myself, like, you can say what you want about Man of Steel, but the one thing that it really did right with Henry Cavill's Superman was the grandiose spectacle of being Superman, the scale of him.
Yeah.
Whether it be the shot of him descending on the people, like in the house that's in the flood, and the sunlight's behind him, or even just the flight scenes. Like that flight sequence in Man of Steel is second to none. And I remember even back then, it was the talk of everybody. Like, it was just a mind-blowing sequence, and so you're kind of sitting there and you're thinking, I wonder how this is going to work. And I really feel it complemented well, not even just in terms of creating a spectacle around Superman. And James Gunn doesn't shy away from the close-up shots. When he's flying, you see the rain hitting him and the mist like flying off of his body. And he every time he like bursts through like the sound barrier, like the different like the atmospheric elements are just like hitting him over the head. The wind is howling around him, and you really feel like the camera's shaking, and it creates a certain impact around like the power that he has in flight, and even the scenes where he's flying around just in general, like the wide shots or where he's using his laser vision, like the camera shakes when he's using his powers. Like it's very creatively done, I even in like the intimate close-up shots, I appreciated how it accentuated the emotional gentleness behind the character of Superman. When he rescues somebody, you don't just see the act, you see his face for the person, the care he has for the person. You see the kindness in his eyes. And there's a lot of shots of him looking at people over their shoulder, so you see Superman and the affection that he has for the people of Earth. And that was something I don't remember ever getting in any of the Zack Snyder DC movies, or even in many DC movies prior that handled Superman. So I really appreciated that element, how it created a grand spectacle around Superman while also tying it intimately into his relationships with the people of Earth. I thought that was really powerfully done, and I thought that, surprisingly, James Gunn's style complemented Superman far better than I anticipated.
I would suggest to most people that are thinking about potentially seeing this movie that you really should, because of how much better it was in a theater for exactly the feeling you had. It felt very immersive during all of those scenes. The transitions, too, with those were really cool. Did you see, like, the constant ones where they would pan over from, like, his other side, they would kind of come across the body, zoom in on the logo, go back out, pan up, and you can see him flying above. Yes. It was really well done. And every single scene you saw in the trailer that had those cool, like, majestic moments was that and way more. Mm-hmm. So cool.
It was just a tease. Like, you really thought... I remember people saying in the lead-up, in the last couple weeks, they were saying, we're seeing too much, they're showing too much. No.
And, like, that whole bit that they showed you before was really just the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, 90% of the stuff you saw was... Yeah.
And I remember you were very worried when that scene came out. You're like, why would they show this? Like, why? And it's because it's the first minute to minute and a half of the movie. Like, they don't show you anything in this movie. And I also want to say, spoiler-free, I saw a lot of concern that people had... this is for the people who might not have seen the movie yet. Yeah. Saw a lot of concern people had for the scene when Lex supposedly steals crypto. And Superman bursts into the office and he's angry. I saw a lot of people online and a lot of online discourse saying, if we got rid of Henry Cavill Superman because he was gloomy, why are we cheering on a Superman that's, like, angry? Like, what's the difference? There's no difference. If you're going to make an angry Superman, why not just, keep Henry? That scene really is, like, I wish they hadn't shown that scene, because it's really kind of out of context. Like, it painted a picture of David Cornsweat's Superman that I don't feel he deserved prior to the movie. That's really the one moment he loses his cool in the movie. Like, he's really... That so doesn't paint the proper picture of who Superman is in this movie, that, like, to anyone basing their opinion of this Superman, if they haven't seen the movie, off of that scene, like, I would say ignore that. Because that definitely really doesn't paint the proper idea.
There's a whole lot of other things that he has to endure in the movie that are so much worse than that, and you still see him maintaining that posture of I'm Superman and I'm above that.
Exactly. Yep.
And the score, to tie back into the score, I, as a huge Hans Zimmer fan, and I know you've come into the fold as a huge Hans Zimmer fan too. There's a part of me that if there's anything universally that people could agree is good about the Zack Snyder DC trilogy, it would be that the Hans Zimmer score is spectacular. Like everyone in the lead up to Man of Steel was saying, how could you possibly top the Christopher Reeve Superman theme? Hans Zimmer just went and did it. He created another theme that might not be as culturally iconic. There's people out there who hum the da-na-na-na-na. They don't even know it's Superman. It's the same as Jaws. Like people don't know that that's the Jaws theme. But when a shark's in the water, like it's just universally known. Maybe not the same with Man of Steel, but it literally was the perfect complement to Superman. And I remember going into this movie thinking, how can they top it? There was another part of me that was worried, is the music that was in the trailers just nostalgia bait? Like, is that only going to be the music in the trailers, and then we're going to get into the movie and the theme sounds nothing like that? Like, I was worried that they were just using the old John Williams theme for bait. No. And in my head, it's like, if you're thinking to yourself, how do you top Hans Zimmer? You don't worry about it. You just take the old thing and make it new again. And that's exactly what they did. And this is maybe the best instance, I will say, in a movie ever, of them taking an old theme and making it new, and like totally allowing it to stand on its own. There's certain like bits and pieces of the original theme and like motifs that they really zero in on. That like when he's flying, the score swells. When he's making a speech, the score swells. And it just really feels like the whole time the music is kind of ebbing and flowing around Superman's emotion. I thought that was really cool. The score was not dependent on the vibe of the scene. There were some moments that were very serious and James Gunn-esque style. Suddenly there's just a pop song playing. So like the whole time, James Gunn is really not playing the score around the circumstance of the movie. He's playing it around like the emotion of Superman or the emotion of the people Superman cares about. And so it's really interesting to see the Williams theme come in and out. And when it does, dude, it just like blows your hair off. It's just so cool.
It's so awesome. So I really love how
I'm sure they sat down and they were like, how could we possibly come up with a new theme? And whoever spoke up at that table meeting and just was like, let's not. Let's just go back to the basics of why everyone likes Superman.
I just thought that was really well done.
I love the score. So
yeah, it was very good.
That was my other like brief spoiler-free compliment that I can't really, everything else I can't go deeper into.
Yeah, the last spoiler-free thing I wanted to touch on too was coming into this movie, the biggest thing I was looking for was for characters I connect with, and I would say 100% felt that. Superman is really well done in this, that I think it was enough of that living up to that perfect standard thing, but you still feel that connection of him and to him.
Yep.
And it made me very excited to want to see him going forward. And I feel very connected to that. So I'm excited for that, and I also really trust James Gunn with doing that forward for that.
I do.
The only thing I would then add on a negative potentially is that beyond the level of the characters introduced in this, there isn't still anything that future going forward that I'm like directly looking forward to. I'm excited about the idea of it, but there just doesn't feel like there's anything directly set up right now. And I'm really glad in a way, because we've talked about how many times like there's always like, this is going to part 2, this is going to part 3. I'm glad it was a cohesive story and just that was it.
Yep.
But I still think that it, in a way, and maybe this just ties into the post-credit scenes, there could have been a little more something to be like, this is what you're like looking forward to.
Almost like a Nick Fury and Iron Man type
Yes,
of thing.
exactly. Because you're starting a beginning, right? And I said this to someone, and they said, well, I don't think it should have been a problem because you just want this to be a straight story. And I was like, yeah, but also at the same time, this is not just Superman, this is the beginning of a universe.
Yep.
And I think they could have done a little more to plant some sort of seeds to be like, even if it's just showing another character, another big character, to like be like, this is coming soon.
Yeah.
Right? They didn't do that. I know there was examples, but like nothing that like moved the needle for me personally.
Right.
Because I know that they reveal like a couple things toward the end, which I was shocked that wasn't just the post-credit scene, right? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
With Cosmo.
Yes. or Crypto.
Or Crypto, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm thinking... yeah.
It's interesting, the comparisons, though, and that's what I was about to say, is it's like, there's bits and pieces, spoiler-free, because this was all in promotional material.
Mm-hmm.
You see the Hall of Justice.
Right.
You see a Green Lantern, or a Lantern. You see Hawk Girl. You see Supergirl. You see, and again, these were all like promotional things. Yeah. Like, there's all the... And James Gunn has said he wants to introduce an older Batman, so you know Batman's out there.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting both Green Lanterns next year in a show. So all of it's out there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a part of me sometimes that's like, I know how much James Gunn likes to zero in on these no-name characters because they're opportunities to, like, create his own thing.
Yeah.
And more power to him. Clearly, he knows what he's doing. And I will say, to his credit, there's no character in this movie that's not done justice. Like,
yeah.
Like, was I a Hawk Girl fan before this? No.
She has that one really cool scene.
Yeah. And I will say, James Gunn, like, doesn't introduce a character in this movie without making it very clear that he, like, has good intentions behind it. Like, he's not just putting characters in there to, oh, look at who it is.
Yeah, dangle it.
He clearly has intentions with these characters going forward. And
That's fair.
So I commend him for that.
Yeah.
I do think at a certain point, if it continues this way, you hear about a potential Mr. Terrific show. You hear about, like...
I saw that they just confirmed.
Right.
Or something.
There's a part of me that's like, at some point, the larger DC audience is eventually going to clamor for, we want it to be just the core Justice League. We want Aquaman. We want Cyborg. We want Wonder Woman and Flash. And we want Batman. And we want Batman to be Batman. Not Bat Family, where it's like he's in one movie and then it focuses on Nightwing and Batwoman just because James Gunn wants to do his own thing. Like, eventually, the larger DC audience is going to be like, when do we get our Justice League movie with all these characters, and, like, we get to cheer on, like, these characters that we've always want done properly, you know what I mean?
We touched on this a couple weeks ago, but it feels like when you're highlighting all these side characters, it's a little more like when they set up the Avengers, they didn't start with... like, the Guardians of the Galaxy was a side project that he worked on. They weren't the main focus of being like, oh, here's the thing to set up. Right? Yeah. People needed that introduction of, here's the big heavy hitters, and then let me supply that with all these other cool characters.
Right.
Which, I'd be totally down for him to be spearheading those types of characters, and then giving off, letting Batman and other things be done, just under his vision.
100%. 100%. I just would love the comfort in knowing it's going to happen.
Right.
And right now we don't.
All right, you want to go ahead and move into spoilers now?
Yeah,
I think this is a good time
dude.
for us to...
I'm like itching. This is... I don't think I've ever, like, wanted to just, like, get it all out.
Yes, I know. So if you haven't seen it, go see it, and then come back now.
Yeah.
All right. So let's touch on... I know we wrote down a couple things that we wanted to talk on, just with if we trust James Gunn after this as well. So after seeing Superman, do you trust James Gunn?
Not only do I trust him, I think... And we touched on this off camera... Not only do I trust him, I think he saved the character of Superman. I think... And I also think he picked the perfect man for Superman. I think... And this will be the take that gets freaking clipped. But I think that if you're looking at two different movies, Man of Steel and Superman, objectively, as superhero movies... and you're taking everything you know out of the character of Superman, I think that a lot of people would look at Man of Steel and say, this is the better superhero movie. I really think they would. Unfortunately, that's not what it's about. And I think that Zack Snyder knows how to make a really epic, grand-scale superhero movie. And I have been at the forefront of people giving him credit for that. I've not been one of the Snyder fans that, like, is boycotting Superman because of my love for Man of Steel. But, like... I sat in the theater in 2013 with my dad, opening weekend, and I loved Man of Steel. The problem is, as a 12-year-old, and I haven't articulated this, so I might actually get emotional about this, but I remember sitting in the theater as a 12-year-old, and I'm watching Man of Steel with my dad, and I'm thinking to myself, I grew up watching Super Friends. I grew up playing all the video games. I grew up reading comics. I had Superman comics lining my shelf. I had Superman shirts. Superman pajama pants, a Superman outfit. Like, I loved Superman. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, this is a great... Like, I love this Superman movie, but this doesn't feel like the same Superman that I can feel inspired by, like I can in the comics. Like, I don't feel inspired by this guy. I think his power is awesome. And I think that the movie was awesome. But I didn't leave feeling inspired by Superman. And even less was the case in Batman v Superman. And... Zack Snyder had a way of painting a really dark, modern DC-esque Dark Knight Returns type of DC story that had, like, it deserves its props in where it did some things right. It just didn't inspire me with Superman. And I think to myself, especially in this day and age, in this climate, in this like culture that we're in, I think of a 12-year-old now going to see Superman, the one that just came out, and seeing a Superman who his power is secondary to all the things that he stands for. His morality, his goodness, his kindness. He takes care of people. He looks after people. And more importantly, he has the humility to fall down and admit when he's struggling and admit when he's wrong. And he has the vulnerability to get back up and try again. And I just imagine a 12-year-old kid, like I was in Man of Steel, getting to finally have a Superman to admire and feel inspired by that I always wish as a kid that I had. And I just think that that's so special.
Yeah.
And so there's a part of me that looks at the James Gunnisms of this movie. Are there too many jokes that maybe don't land? Of course, it's James Gunn. And there were even those in the Guardians movies, and we loved the heck out of them. Is the movie wacky? If you're not a comic book fan, you're walking out of this with the 1,000-yard stare.
There's 100% a lot of stuff like
this
that.
This movie is ripped straight from about 8 different comic runs that like are amazing in their own right, but it throws a lot at you, especially if you're not a comic book fan.
Yeah.
But like, does it inspire the heck out of you, dude? And like, will the cultural impact of this movie far outweigh all of like the little nitpicks? Oh, maybe they joke too much. That's what makes this movie great. And there's a sequence that I would love to touch on, like you were talking about, where he confronts Lex Luthor towards the end. That just blew my socks off. And I'm sitting there in the theater, and I really started to tear up.
You talking about when he switches finally, where he was talking about, like, the whole movie, he talks about, I'm an alien, and I've made that known to people.
Yeah.
And then he goes into this is humanity. This is,
Lex calls him an alien, and he goes, I thought I've made that clear to you guys, but, like, I'm not any different from you guys, and I'm not perfect. I get down, and I get back up, and, like, I try to be the best man I can be, and I look at it, and I'm like, dude, this is Superman, bro. And I was like, holy moly, like, I never felt this for Henry, and I wish I had, you know? Like, and my dad is sitting there, and he grew up on the Christopher Reeve Superman, and, like, I'm looking over there, and my dad and I are both just like, whoa, dude, like, this is powerful, and this is awesome, and it just had such a strong impact on me, and I can't even imagine, like, being a kid getting to grow up with this Superman. It's just going to be so special for people, and I can't give enough props to James Gunn with all of his humor quirks and stylistic choices that are literally copied by nobody else. Just the fundamental understanding, the deep and thorough understanding of these characters that he brought to the table.
Yeah.
Like, I can't commend him enough. And I fully trust him with Superman, with Batman, as crazy as it sounds, with everything. Like, I trust him fully with everything. Like, he clearly has a fundamental understanding of what it means to be every character that was in this movie. And I just think the foundation that he laid with Superman and all of the things that he built up with what the Superman stands for, what he fights for, who he fights for, why he does it. Like, it just the line from Pa Kent where he says, your choices, something that, like, your choices, that's what makes you who you are.
Yep.
I just, like, as much as I love Man of Steel, it's such a stark contrast to, like, Clark sitting on the back of the truck with his dad in Man of Steel saying, should I have just let those people die? And he says yes, you know? Like, it's just such a stark contrast, you know what I mean?
It was such an interesting thing that I really enjoyed that they did with that you have in Man of Steel, the parents are almost flipped their dynamic, right? You have the good parents that are sending him over, like, do the good, right? And then you have his parents being a little more whatever. They totally flip it on its head this time, and I love that. And as you mentioned, those two scenes are the best in the movie, in my opinion. Him with Pa Kent, and man,
it's the quiet moments.
Yeah.
Like, in a Superman movie that soars with its spectacle, the quiet moments are the best.
Yeah.
Or the introspective moments where Superman is really, like, digging deep and explaining who he is. The moment where in the heat of a battle, with all of the banter, the James Gunn banter back and forth, and all of the villain, maniacal nonsense with Lex sending things after Superman. In the midst of all of it, Superman pauses from the fight and goes to save a squirrel from the road.
Okay.
Like, little things like that just make this movie so special, and there's such little touches. It really felt like James Gunn just dug deep and unapologetically just was like, what is goodness by absolutely nobody's standards, but just what does it mean to be good?
Mm-hmm.
And how can we make this character exactly that,
Yeah. I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge a couple of the things here. The thing that annoyed me so much with the ending that I'm kind of alluded to in the non-spoiler part, you have such a cool moment where Superman delivers that really passionate, heartfelt thing to Lex at the end.
Yeah.
Lex he starts responding back, and he starts having like a cold response back.
He's screaming at him, yeah.
And then the dog comes in and like knocks him over and starts just messing him up, and like, oh, everyone's laughing, oh, he's... And to me, that was so, like, unnecessary. It felt like it ruined the moment. And I felt like for a guy that was built up so much as Lex Luthor, which you knew he lost in that moment, but it didn't feel like... I felt like this movie did a good job of elevating both of them up. So it felt like both of them were credible.
Yeah.
And I felt like it just kind of took away a little bit from it. Like, it felt a little more like we were kind of making a joke of Luthor, as well as... just, like, taking away from the moment, man. Like, I was sitting there like, wow. Like, this is really well done. And then just the dog comes in.
Right.
And I was a little, like...
And there's
like,
a couple of those
a little
moments.
frustrated. Yeah.
But it's Superman.
It is, but, like, that was, like, the moment in the film.
I know.
And, like, that's what it all had built up to. And you had, like, the best lines in the whole movie get, like, immediately taken away by that.
Yeah.
And, like, that was a little frustrating. So, I mean, again, it's... small thing here, but it was just like I would have loved to see them just leave that part out.
As somebody who usually hates that whole trope where it's like the serious moments interrupted with a gag, like I'm glad it happened in a Superman movie and not like a Batman movie or a
fair.
A Flashpoint.
I just
movie
don't really
or
like it
something
in
that.
general, though.
I know, but like I just. And I'm also glad it happened when it did, and not maybe even earlier when Superman was giving his speech. I'm glad he got his thing out, and then if it's going to happen, let it happen when Lex Luthor's yelling at him or something. If it has to happen, which with James Gunn it has to, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. And if I could just go back to discussing some of those negatives real quick.
Yeah.
Now that we can really talk openly about
100%.
it. The thing that frustrated me with Luthor too is I felt like the whole movie they did such a good job at making him very calculated in what he was doing, always being 2 steps ahead. The thing that frustrated me then is as we get to the scene where Superman's being held down by the kryptonite, and I don't actually remember the name of the character.
Metamorpho, I think.
Yes.
I think, right?
Yes.
He was calling him something different in the movie,
yeah,
but I
so
think
that's
he's Metamorpho.
Okay. And his son is across, right? I didn't understand how that made sense in his head. So he's holding Superman down, right? Keeping him down. And then Superman's like essentially like, I can just go free your son right now if you just stop this.
Right, it was right there.
Like, that was the most obvious breakout thing ever. And he's like, then Luthor like freaks out. What?
How could he,
yeah, how did this happen? Like, I just don't get it. Like, it was very obvious to me that why wouldn't he free Superman? Like, why wouldn't he? He's like, he wouldn't be barred down by this. And then everything with him and the kid was a little like too goofy for me. I didn't love it. Like, it was a little like, there was points where like I overlooked it because it was cool, but at the same time I was just kind of like, what is going on?
That's
right
the one sequence where he lost me a little bit.
Yeah,
James Gunn, like the river thing just felt like it dragged for a little too long. I think my take is if Superman collected the baby, knocked out that other guy, or whatever happened. I don't remember what happened. Right, he knocks out the guy holding them hostage. And then him and Metamorpho with the baby fly out and maybe narrowly beat out the soldiers, Lex's soldiers, to the portal. I think the scene doesn't suffer in the slightest.
It felt really long.
It felt like it dragged out for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think that scene suffers in the slightest if you just have Lex Metamorpho and Superman just escape the soldiers.
Yeah.
Like, they get out of the cell and they go.
And when Metamorpho was screaming like Joey out loud, like it made me laugh. And then he did it like 3 more times. I don't know why, it was just the funniest thing. Like, there was multiple times where I felt like I was laughing at things that I shouldn't have been laughing at a little bit.
Yeah.
And nothing bad, because for the most part in the movie, I was smiling the whole way through, And I think that's the biggest testament to the movie.
100%.
That it almost feels like the first time for a movie that I'm actually not, and I think this is why originally I wanted to go a little lower on the rating, but I kept it up because I feel like the whole point of the movie was just a more general overview. This is what you need to be excited about.
Yeah.
This is the character of Superman. Get behind this. This is the vision. Go. Fun movie. You know? And to me, as a guy that's more coming from a Marvel mindset, coming in to want to be a little more excited about DC, I think they did a good job of bridging the gap where you have so many serious movies in DC, and I like that. But it was nice to have finally a character that you feel like has that little bit of a edge in the other way. And I think that was really good.
What did he say at one point? He said like Lois is teasing him about being like hopeful and loving everybody, and he was like, maybe that's the real punk rock or whatever.
Yeah. I thought that was really good.
Which Lois is something I also want to commend. You touched on it briefly, but I would love to echo what you said about Lois Lane. Like I didn't hate Amy Adams' Lois. I thought she was monotone and a little bit like one dimensional.
So bland.
And knowing Amy Adams, that's more at the fault of Zack Snyder and his creative direction. But I thought that Rachel Brosnahan played like the Lois Lane that that's like her specifically felt like that James Gunn grabbed a comic book page and just like yanked her out of the comic book and threw her onto a movie screen like that. It was perfect,
and she got her moments to shine.
The edginess, the edginess, the cockiness at some points, the wit. It was exactly how it should be done. Where the James Gunn has such a intelligent way of allowing the entire cast to complement each other, where even though it is a Superman movie, it doesn't really feel like Superman is the lead in its own movie. It feels like they're all like one organism kind of leading the whole thing. It doesn't really feel like one person's overpowering the other. And in so many superhero movies lately where it feels like it's a power struggle between the male lead, the female lead, and somebody always has to be one-upping the other, James Gunn has seemingly cracked the code on just like a really good mix of power dynamics between every character playing to their strengths, and when their weaknesses show up, the other ones like their strengths come through, and it's a constant complementary experience, and that really encourages me for something like Wonder Woman. If he were to revisit the Birds of Prey, something with like maybe like I don't know, like it encouraged me with like Supergirl, Batwoman, like all these different female leads. Like I'm very excited to see how Superman or how James Gunn like handles these characters now, knowing and seeing his direction, not just with the characters, but just in his balancing of this enormous cast that DC offers. Just really promising.
The last thing I want to touch on that's just a little bit not great in my opinion from the movie was just the element of that Superman essentially won this movie, won the battle of Lex, and was able to put him away from nothing that he thought about at all. Like nothing was there from his side of things. It was all because they got photos from the girlfriend, the non-girlfriend girlfriend, and like first off, she just happens to take all the selfies and they're like perfectly aligned to show you everything in the back. It was a little like, okay, whatever. Right. Like fine, you know. But then the fact that they send those through, and that is the whole plot of how they put away Luthor. And like to me it was a little like silly.
I think it's especially silly when you consider that he has a counter move for every move that Superman has, but he can't account for his girlfriend taking pictures in front of his top secret data.
That was a little stupid.
Yeah.
And Superman didn't essentially then, I don't know what the word is, beat Luthor in that way? Like
Luthor beat himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like a little bit like I think there was something lost there, that, and I don't know if that's because of the physical presence of it, that like they didn't really have like a clear-cut main final villain in the story. Like it was just him behind whatever was happening. But they didn't really build up a main thing to be the big opposing threat to Superman at all. It's like revealed, like they had the character there the whole time, but it revealed that the like cloned version of himself, but that didn't really come into like play until the very end.
Can I be real? I thought that was going to be Henry Cavill.
You what?
I thought that was going to be Henry Cavill.
Dude!
I thought he was going to unmask himself and it was going to be Henry Cavill.
Could you imagine?
That would have been crazy. I really thought. Or maybe like Bizarro, but I wasn't sure how they were going to incorporate that, because that's a whole other arc where it's like alternate versions of the heroes, the Justice League.
Dude, that would have been so much fun.
I thought it would have been Henry.
That would have been hilarious.
That would have been really cool.
Yeah.
Like,
Imagine.
the coolest way you could send him off, where it's like we respect him enough to include
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
The theater reaction would have been nuts.
Crazy. That would have been one of the most wild reveals ever.
Funny.
I really thought it was going to be Henry.
I wish they had done that now. Yeah. That's hilarious.
And the music when he stands up, it's like,
yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
And it's just him, and I was like, oh, that's still awesome. But like, I really thought.
Who do you think it would have? Who would have said no to that? Do you think that would have been on James Gunn's side?
I think Henry would have said Henry would have actually declined. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
okay. He's done with it.
Yeah. So to close, I feel like it's only right with a movie that we've been anticipating for this long, that like with our spoiler thoughts, with everything on the table, we've gone over some of the gripes. I mean, there's other gripes I have, slight things like I felt like they like all the people from the Daily Planet got stuffed into the Mr. Terrific ship for what reason?
Yeah. No.
And then there was the big battle between the two countries in the Middle East or wherever this is located in the DC planet. And then the Justice Gang show up and nothing happens. And then like I guess we're supposed to understand that like the Justice Gang is just 3 people at this point, and like they have the entire Hall of Justice like all to themselves. Like it's just weird. Like, there's certain things where it's like I guess if I think hard enough about it, like I'd get bothered. I just don't think that's what it was about. I really think it was just a movie that was supposed to emphasize, like, we understand Superman enough for you to be able to sit back and just, like, enjoy this process of us building out the DC universe that you've always deserved. And the idea of us getting a DC universe where the Batman fights a penguin with the freaking umbrella gun. It's just cool to think that we could get a DC universe from James Gunn now that, like, has all this weird, bizarre stuff that, like, I remember seeing the cast for Superman get announced, and I'm thinking to myself, how's Metamorpho even going to fit into this? And that's another thing, because this was a complaint that we had even issued last week before we even went into the movie. I have been worried for weeks that, like, everything in the trailers, like, every scene in the trailer was, like, it looked like a completely different set piece. And you're watching it, and you're like, how is this all going to fit in a sub 2-hour movie? And it really kind of flows.
Yeah.
Like, you could make an argument that it's kind of packed, but again, it literally, I don't think there's been a comic book movie that has felt more ripped straight from a comic book than this one. And that's the nature of comic books. It's how can we pack about 400 characters and 8 plot lines into one story and then just wrap it up at the end?
Yeah.
Like, it just plays out like a Saturday morning cartoon, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
So all that to say, do you have a closing statement? It's only right that we give like a closing statement, whether it be 1 to 2 minutes each of just our thoughts on Superman, all gripes, all compliments accounted for.
Yes.
How do you feel about this movie that you I think we both very much liked?
All together, I'm going to look into the camera.
Okay.
All together. You have to go see Superman.
You
need to go see Superman. It's the beginning of something new. It felt fresh. It's really fun. It's exciting. For every little problem there was with the film, it's something that you can really overlook. Just don't think too hard about the movie.
No.
Go and enjoy yourself. James Gunn delivered. I think for everything included, all the characters you can connect with, I think it gives definitely a good prospect to going forward what else there is. And I'm really excited to see where things keep going. So that's the piece. I think we covered all the rest of it, man.
I think we did.
Yeah.
Superman is back.
Yeah.
He's back. Like the Superman. And this is a Superman that you can look up to. This is a Superman that you can feel inspired by. This is a Superman that will bring people together. And this is a Superman that will be at the forefront of a universe that we just watched successfully be birthed in front of us.
Yeah.
Like, this DC universe is going to work. And to all DC fans that have been out there worried, worry no more. There we go. What do you think?
That's perfect, dude. That's perfect. I was just enjoying that. Okay.
You want to go into our next thing?
Yeah, we did have a little thing that we wanted to do. This is kind of adjacent to Superman here. Well, it's actually really directly tied in. But we're going to do a little head-to-head game. So I'm going to read off some movies, and you're going to tell me if you think that Superman was better than that movie.
Should I come up with a list here? Or?
No, it's okay. I'm going to read these out.
Okay.
And I'm going to present the movies here. you're gonna tell me what you think
Okay.
was the better movie. Okay, we're gonna start.
Superman or
Yes,
Okay.
Superman or whatever. So I'm gonna start lower. Okay. So which was the better movie, Man of Steel or Superman 2025?
again, objectively, just looking at it, like,
Yeah, in your
what
opinion.
did Superman better? Superman.
Okay.
I think
What did you enjoy more?
Superman.
Okay.
I think Man
Okay.
of Steel is a better superhero movie, but in terms of a better Superman movie and like what movie is just easier to like, Superman.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. If I present you Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1.
that's really tricky, dude. 'Cause
Yeah.
you can make an argument that that's James Gunn's best movie. Dude, I might have to go Guardians 1, and it's really
Okay.
tough. I might have to go Guardians 1.
I would agree with that.
None of these are a knock on Superman, but like
No.
Guardians 1 is spectacular. That might be his best movie ever.
Yeah. How about Joker 2019?
Superman.
Okay, yeah. I think that's pretty
Joker
pretty
2019,
easy.
like the scene where he shoots Murray Murray is mind blowing. But
That was one of those movies, man, that almost everybody around me said it was good. I thought it was fine. I thought it was good, but I didn't think it was like anything to really point at. You know, I thought it was just
it's the
something
best-
that you look at and move on from.
it's the best standalone like villain project. I think that like in terms of a superhero movie that can stand without its superhero,
Okay,
that's probably the best.
that's kind of sad if that is the best. No,
Maybe, but it is the best.
Yeah,
I
I
think.
guess.
But I don't think it
Are they
holds a
just
candle
really
to
bad
Superman.
at doing villains? Because I feel like I can't even think about now any good standalone villain movies. I mean, Kraven the Hunter, man, right? Those are a
Gosh,
good one.
Morbius,
Yeah,
Madam Web.
some of the best. Yeah,
We forget how
Some of the best.
Spoiled we've been.
I know. Okay, which is the better movie, Avengers 1 or Superman?
See, I'm a notorious Avengers 1 is slightly more on the mid side of things.
You are?
Yeah.
Are you serious? You are not. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, dude.
This isn't even for a reaction. Are you kidding me?
No, I think
You think it's mid?
How have we never talked about this? I
You think it's mid?
it airs closer on the side of mid than goated.
Oh my gosh.
I think
I think that movie's incredible. That's one of my most rewatchable movies in the MCU.
it's
Totally.
rewatchable. It's better than like Age of Ultron. It's,
on,
I think
man.
It's still again. It's top like. 15,
Is that just because of
16.
what's come out since?
Yes.
I think, in my opinion, it's so much better even from a second watch just because you have the connection with the characters now.
I think I don't. I've
Right?
always had a hard time knowing how big the universe got. Like going back and watching some of.
But it's like the core of like what made it fun. Like that's prime Nick Fury. That's prime like they're all still trying to figure it out. Like it's so perfect. It's like an origin story for everything. Man, I love that movie.
You know how I like Prime Nick Fury.
Dude. Okay.
Yeah, I think
But is it better than Superman? Or is Superman better than that?
Okay, this is
I don't think I'll give Avengers that. I'm not saying Superman is mid because I think Avengers is closer to mid. I'm saying the MCU went on such a Linsanity run after
yeah.
Avengers 1, starting with Avengers 1, you could say. In terms of cultural impact, the things that it led to, the jury's still out. Superman could build into something really good, and you could look back and be like, wow, that's where it all started,
Yeah.
just like you do with Avengers. I might have to give it to Avengers just based on impact.
Really?
but
Okay. I thought you were going the other way with it. You just said it was
it's-
mid.
By certain standards, by the standard...
You gave this movie a what, 9.4?
I say it's mid because I could name maybe 12 MCU movies that I like more.
Okay. Okay.
But
I would almost say I think Superman might be better. So I'm not saying that
It's very close.
You said it was mid, so I was like freaking out.
But again, that's by like MCU standards. It's
Okay,
hard to, it's
okay.
hard now that we've gotten so many other movies in Marvel to not compare Avengers 1 to everything else. Even if Avengers 1 is good, I might
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I give it to Superman then. But it's
It's the closest I think so far, right?
very neck
very-
and neck.
yeah.
But I don't know, maybe I don't know, dude.
Okay, I want to go ahead and go through two movies that just came out this summer that we saw.
Oh?
I want to start with Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning. Was that better than Superman?
No.
No. Okay.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
Superman is no. I have a statement, but I'll save it for the other one because you said that you're naming two.
Okay.
I'm going to say no, it's not.
Okay.
Speed
and then the
rush.
other one is Superman or Thunderbolts.
You know, I like
See, this is where it gets tough. This is
you
where
know
it gets
I like
tough for you.
Thunderbolts. I think Superman was better. I think Superman might be my number one of the year so
I think
far.
Superman was better too.
I think
than
it might be the
Thunderbolts.
number one movie of the year.
Really?
So far, yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
I don't know what to do with that in Final Reckoning. I love that movie.
Final
a
Reckoning
lot.
closed out the story very well, but again, it's a lot of nostalgia.
Now I'm feeling like I need to readjust my ratings now for that movie.
What did you originally give Final
I
Reckoning?
gave it a 9.3 on this podcast.
Really?
And
you
now I'm
gave
feeling a little...
Superman 8.6?
Yeah.
And you think Superman's better?
Well,
So what if you swapped it?
Okay.
What if you could
We just
Superman
flip 'em.
9.3 and Mission Impossible 8.6?
We just flip it. Yeah. That works out fine. I do want to say, apologize to the people. I was a little hot with my Jurassic World rating.
What'd you give it?
I gave it a 7.8. It's definitely dropped. It's a 7.2 now, effective immediately. So, everyone can sleep easy now.
Okay.
It has dropped 0.6.
I can get it.
That was when I was rating Superman and I gave it an 8.6. I was like, "There's no way it can only be 0.8
1
better."
point better
Yeah.
than- yeah.
And I was like, "All right, I need to shift something up." So I don't know with that movie though, man, because I really liked it. Final Reckoning. I thought it was a really complete movie, but at the same time, if I'm nitpicking it the way I just nitpicked Superman, then I think I'd have to give it to Superman. Does that make sense? I think I just ignored a little more of the problems with it in Final Reckoning.
Let me ask you to do something difficult.
Okay.
Take the stunt out of it.
Yeah, then it probably is Superman.
Because, and a lot of people would say, oh, that's the whole point. Take the 10-minute stunt out of the 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
Now you have 2 hours and 50 minutes.
You know
What
what?
is that movie on a scale of 1 to 10?
You've sold me. It's down to an 8.4. It's down.
8.4.
Yeah, we're going
I
down.
think that's very valid. I think
it's down.
I think
Yeah.
that's fair.
I'm all over the place. I gotta collect my thoughts. I'm getting flustered.
It will be a 2.3 by the end of the month.
So is it better than Thunderbolts? Is Superman better than Thunderbolts?
I think so. Thunderbolts rejuvenated my hope in the MCU. But Superman made me believe an entire universe could be built off of the back of one guy.
Yeah, I agree.
And it really felt like the first time in my life that I've seen the character exactly how he should be on screen.
I think Thunderbolts did a good job at very specific things that were good, being very specific feelings that you evoked. And
It was amazing.
It was great.
I loved it.
I just think from a pure movie, everything going on, I think Superman was just better across the board.
100%.
So, this is where it gets a little tougher now.
Walking in here.
Lock in. Was Superman better than Civil War?
Captain America Civil War?
Yeah. Don't tell me that you don't like that movie.
No, that's not.
Oh, okay.
No, my problem is I love both. Civil War is a top 5 MCU movie for me.
Yeah, me too. I would say it's definitely not. But I'm also a huge Captain America guy.
It's not better than Superman? Or
No, it is better.
Superman's not better than Civil War?
Superman's not better.
I think I'd agree.
Okay.
I think I would agree.
Okay. Now, what if I compare that to Batman, the Batman 2022?
I think the Batman 2022 was slightly better.
I agree. I think it's better too. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the heck out of that movie.
That movie's
the
so
third act
good.
in the Batman is a little bit we should revisit that at some point
Yeah.
on the pod because the third act I feel
we'll get
drags
to
a
that.
little bit, but the movie as a whole is better.
We're
than
gonna need a whole episode to kind of revisit everything DC after this, so we can kind of future cast a little more and see what's
100%.
going on.
I would love that. That'd be great.
And the last one I have on this list, I also have, was Superman better than Avengers Endgame?
No.
Okay.
No.
You're standing
That's
on
easy.
it. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
It was
easy.
not. But again, it's Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, I know. But a lot of people criticize that movie a lot
That's
for
right.
how sloppy
I
it is.
forget how much people hate that movie.
A lot of people
A lot of
really
people say
don't
it's
like that movie.
nostalgia. It's
They just say it's a
fan service.
one big scene nostalgia pop, which
Yeah, but of course, but it's literally just made to satisfy
Yeah.
10 years. It's not like they just spent 10 years and then we're like, oh, we should make some fan service. It's a bow on top of
justified.
a 10-year present.
yeah, it was building up to that intentionally.
Right.
That was the point.
It's not like
right?
they waited a decade and then we're like, maybe we should start giving the fans what they want. It's it's been building this. Of course, it's going to be fan service.
I think that's the number one movie I point to when people tell me about specific criticisms. I'm like, just enjoy the movie, man.
Yes.
That's the number one movie I always point to.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic.
I've never screamed, cried. I mean, dude, there was my face was puffy. Endgame was just unbelievable. There will literally never be anything like that. Secret Wars could replicate it and more, but the immediate reaction to Endgame and the unprecedented nature of what they accomplished in that movie will literally never be done again.
Do you think there's anything in Secret Wars that could top anything in Endgame?
Of course, but I don't think the emotion behind it will ever be the same.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think. I don't think so. I really don't.
Okay.
Because it's unfortunate because we've had 10 years to love Anthony Mackie as Cap, just like we had 10 years to love Tony as or Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. But like,
is that right? 10 years?
Yeah, it's been 11.
Wow.
But we haven't spent that much time with these characters. Like, they've been there, but you know, you can only go so far with the in between movies they're just out and about. Captain Marvel's off world. Like, okay, I guess whatever. Nobody cares.
I'd say part of my gripe with that too. I think a big problem is that they've gone away from having these characters have their whole movie to themselves. Like, there's so many of these movies now involve so many other characters that they end up only getting so much of the screen time.
Right.
That's like really designed around them anyway, and I think that's part of the problem too. But
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that's besides the point.
So that's it.
Yeah, that's the list. That is the list.
Solve all the world's problems.
Yes. Now, I do want to get to this. We need to. I would love to hear what everyone has to say about Superman.
Please.
Yes.
Yes.
So, we need your help. We want to get your hot takes for everything Superman. We just watched the movie. We're reviewing it now. We want to hear what you have to say. We're going to react to it probably next week on the pod. So, please send anything you have forward. We will be reacting to it.
Hot takes.
Yes.
Ratings 1 to 10. Thoughts on us, whether you think we're idiots or not.
Yeah.
Which typically,
probably, yeah.
It's lately it's
Usually.
been trending more on the side of idiot.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely, go for it.
Dude, we've got some really good comments.
Yeah.
We really have. We have a special fan base here, you know, if that's what you call it. But again, we've said that. I would rather people comment and say we're stupid than not comment at all.
Yes.
I love that.
100%.
I'm here for that. But some of the comments recently have been all-time stuff. They really we're dealing with some good stuff.
Yeah.
We had your take on Barbie and Oppenheimer being overrated, dude. There was a couple people that were like really upset with you about that. Like they took it really deeply.
And I think they thought I was more knocking the films themselves.
No, you were making a point of the day of it.
I was more saying I felt that the spectacle around. I think that like people memeing Barbenheimer, and yeah, people were talking to me like commenting stuff. Oh,
I know.
Oh, you're like as if there weren't memes of like Cillian Murphy dressed in like a pink suit
and them shaking hands together across. That was like the big image that
it
they were
was
using
a meme,
everywhere.
dude.
It was
Like Barbenheimer is a meme.
you going to see Barbenheimer?
It's a meme.
It was.
It's a meme.
Yeah.
So I just kind of I was looking at it and I'm like, I'm not knocking the movies. I loved Oppenheimer. I think on Letterboxd it's a 9 out of 10 for me. Barbie I think is a 8 out of 10.
Really? Wow.
It might be a 7
That's
out
a
of
little
10.
high. But okay.
It was a little, I haven't revisited, but I was more talking about the spectacle around it.
Yeah. Dude,
and how meme culture probably raked in an extra $200 million for those movies.
I'm gonna clip you saying that it's a meme thing and staring into the camera, and I'm gonna post tag the guy in it. That was that was saying that. Yeah, I think we need to do that, even if it's just one view and the guy getting it. That's what we need.
All right, now Superman review out of the way.
Yes.
Additional takes out of the way. We wanted to close out this episode with something that we don't traditionally do. We wanted to play one more game before we end things off here. So you and I were talking, we were brainstorming this week. What can we introduce? We got Burn It or Back It. We've got a couple different like ranking games that we play. We're introducing a new one here called One's Gotta Go.
Yes.
So the objective of this game, Josh and I will be reading off a list of 4 movies or shows from different topics. It could be Star Wars, it could be Disney, it could be anything. It could even be characters. It doesn't even have to just be movies. And we have to pick one thing out of these 4 things that needs to be scratched from the list.
Yes. So in the event of DC, I wanted to start off by giving you 4 movies, and I wanted to make this as tough as I could.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I have 4 interesting ones here for you, so I'm going to see what you have to say.
Okay.
All right. So, One's Gotta Go. Zack Snyder's Justice League, Batman 2022, Superman, and The Dark Knight.
Oh my gosh.
There's
Zack
no
Snyder's
way
Justice
out.
League,
There's
the
no
Batman
way out.
2022, Superman, or The Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
It's not The Dark Knight.
Okay.
It's...
See, this is where the recency thing comes in. Like, is the Superman film recency bias?
It might have to be Superman.
Really? Okay.
I think so, and it's not a dog.
If it was Man of Steel, that wouldn't change anything for you?
No, it'd be Man of Steel getting cut too.
Okay. So
Like,
either way, it was still...
I'm a huge fan of
Is that
this.
your top 3, like, DC movies then? Or what else would be in there?
It
What
might.
else could have...
It might be.
Let's see. I just had my Letterboxd pulled up.
Okay.
My top 3. I haven't updated my Letterboxd yet, but my top 3 DC movies on Letterboxd are The Dark Knight, Zack Snyder's Justice League, and Man of Steel.
Really? Is this before the movie?
With the Batman being 4, and I had put Superman tentatively at 5
Because I just assumed it would be that good.
Interesting. Okay.
I might have to think about that, but my immediate thought is Superman.
Okay. So everyone needs to go follow Sam's Letterboxd so we can see what he has
So
to
you
say.
can hate on my incomplete DC
Go
list.
flood his replies.
Send me death threats. I can take it. Okay, now I'm going with you. All right. So,
again, I think it's more like a cultural impact thing with the Superman thing. I think it's because it's the only movie that hasn't had a chance to have a cultural impact.
Yeah.
And again,
and we'll see.
It will.
I'd be curious to see if we did this maybe in 3 years and see what transpired with DC after that.
I could see myself flipping it and taking Zack Snyder's Justice League out of the equation.
Oh, okay. Okay,
could
so
see
that would
that.
be the next up.
yeah.
Okay.
I would say so.
Okay.
All right. We're going to flip it. We're going to do
MCU, because
Okay.
I grew up DC and kind of picked up on Marvel past just like the Hulk and Spider-Man when I was around the time the MCU started.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up way more DC fan than Marvel. You're almost the
Flipped.
Yeah.
Flipped.
So we're going to go MCU. I'm going to give you Infinity War,
Okay.
No Way Home,
Oh, man.
Endgame, or Civil War. You have to... Again, rules of the game. One has got to go.
Don't say it like that. All right, I'm going to think about this.
Martian Death Beam.
Whatever. I want...
Fate of the universe on the line.
All right, so let me tell you what. It's not No Way Home. No Way Home is staying.
Okay.
100%.
Okay, you're ignoring the complaints that people have.
I know,
about the
I understand. Can I be honest?
Yep.
Yeah. If we're going just strictly on which movie was potentially like the worst as a movie altogether, I think it is No Way Home
I think
and
No Way
Endgame.
Home. It has. Yeah, they have.
But they're
the least
also
substance.
they're also the two that make me feel the most. So it's like a weird flip. So it's like I value both of those movies so much because of the moments.
Yeah.
Not as a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really tough.
So then, does that leave Infinity War and Infinity War and Civil War?
I think I would cut. I think I'd cut Endgame.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm of the opinion
Even the emotion doesn't even.
Infinity War is the best of the four. That one's 100% not getting cut.
Wow. Dude.
I love Spider-Man. That's staying in there. I think Endgame's getting cut.
Really?
Yeah,
I
think so.
Just because the emotions are not enough to sell you, like it's not
I think
enough.
just because the other four move me so much too, that like if I'm gonna be nitpicky about which one's better, like I would rank Endgame I think below those.
Infinity War moves you more than Endgame. Like the ending of it is moves
so
you
much
more
more
than the ending of Endgame.
No, as a full film, the ending of Endgame moves me more than almost anything in film.
Okay.
That's just, like potentially the number one scene in everything, right?
But Infinity War just
But the build up to get there, I don't think is as good as the whole movie of Infinity War, and the ending still. I mean, dude, that ending is unbelievable, and I don't know if I've seen outside of Revenge of the Sith do this, where it's such an impactful end. And the thing I would say about Revenge is that Revenge, you knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And I think just the fact that this was so, and ignore everything that happens in Endgame, that was just so like. Wow, such a shock. I couldn't believe it. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I think that would, yeah. Anyway.
That's interesting.
So I think Endgame's below. And I love Spider-Man, so.
I think there's an argument I would make to cut Infinity War.
Really? No. No! Are you serious? Of the four?
I think so.
Are you kidding me?
I think you could make an argument. I think.
Wow.
Civil War, you have the introduction of Spidey, you have...
Dude,
the ramifications.
Yeah,
of,
Civil War rocks.
The first instance in the MCU of a villain actually winning. You have the division of the Avengers, and there was a lot of emotion behind that. The reveal that Cap did know about Bucky.
But Infinity War, I think Infinity War clears all of them. That's my number one MCU movie.
It's really tough, dude.
That's number one.
It's like picking which immediate family member you want to die.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
Well, actually,
it would be Infinity War or Civil War for me, I think.
Wow, dude. Okay. I saw. I think this was Sammy J the other day did this.
Oh yeah.
Where they were joking and they were like, Why is this movie not a 9 out of 10?" And or
For
why is this?
Infinity War?
No,
Superman?
just a movie in general. They were like, "Why is this a 9 out of 10? Like, what takes it down?" And he's like, "I don't know." He's like, "The movie's pretty good, but didn't have Spider-Man." And I was like, I don't know why. I was like, that's the most like relatable thing I can hear. You know?
Yeah.
Like, No Way Home, is it probably the worst as far as a movie altogether?
Yeah,
Probably.
no
But I
substance
just
aside
love
from the fan
Spider-Man.
service. Yeah.
I love Spider-Man and I love the connection. So.
Right.
All right, I'm gonna shift here.
Okay.
We're looking at Pixar now.
I'm ready. We're logging in.
We're doing Pixar.
Okay.
One's got to go. The Incredibles, Toy Story 3, Monsters Inc., and Nemo. Give it to me. One's got to go. Oh, uh-oh. It's never a good sign when he looks in the camera.
Get the Incredibles out of here.
Just like that?
Get the Incredibles out of here.
Oh, just
Get
like
outta
that?
here. Out of here.
Safely?
Get him out.
Safely?
Get him out. Incredibles. Get him out.
Are you serious?
Get him out. I'll take it further. Finding Nemo is a top 3 movie to ever be made. And we are standing so hard on business,
Yeah.
dude. Finding Nemo is a top 3 movie to ever be made. Get
There's
the
not many
Incredibles out.
takes I know about you. That is one I've known. That is one of the most crazy things you've ever said in your
the
life.
Incredibles can't sit at the cool
You've
kids
said a
table.
lot of stuff, but man, that is crazy.
The Incredibles can't sit at the cool kids table.
So Nemo's a top 3 movie
Nemo
all
is
time.
not only the movie that I'm keeping before I keep anything else, it's a top 3 movie ever, dude.
So out of all these ones gotta goes, Nemo's
Nemo at the tippity top, and
That
it's
would be
only
the
halfway
it would
up.
always be protected.
Finding Nemo's at the tippity top, and it's only halfway up.
Wow.
Standing
I
up
should have
is
kept
dude.
it out.
The emotion, I'm going into my Finding Nemo thing. The emotion of it all, dude. That whole movie. Oh gosh, dude. I don't know if it's because I grew up with like a dad who was just like really affectionate and really like caring. Like my dad, like is like. Never been a moment where my dad wasn't like always available. So fortunate. Like I know not many people like have that, and so like there's never been a moment where I've taken that for granted. But I think just to like see something like that personified in a character where like I don't know. I think you grow up with like the Disney Channel shows and the Nickelodeon shows where the dads are like a Dudley Do-Right and they're like, "Ugh," and they're like hitting the wall. Like to see a character like Marlin and like the lengths he was willing to go to like save Nemo or find Nemo, or even just even if Nemo wasn't okay, to just he felt he owed it to his son to like go to the ends of the earth to try and find him and help him. Like and there was nothing he wasn't willing to do. And then you have all the metaphors and the analogies through like surfing through the current with with Crush and all these different things where you see Marlin and the jellyfish where Marlin's slowly like loosening up and letting go of things, and how he applies that to his own relationship with Nemo once they reunite, and then it culminates to the end where he lets Nemo go on this field trip with the class. Dude, like there's so many elements of that movie that just make it so special, and to have this like movie from my childhood that even as an adult I can revisit and like. It's a weird thing where I'm not looking at that movie to associate any of it with myself. I look at it and I see my dad, and like I just think that that's really special. Like I'll be able to spend my whole life returning to that movie and being able to like point at that and be like, that's like my grandkids someday. Like that's what my dad was like. Like I just think that's enormously special. And now you can be the jerk.
I know.
Who tried to make me feel bad. Who tried to make me feel bad about putting Finding
See,
Nemo
I
in
was,
the dump.
I was gonna say, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, dude? I was so ready to like bash you and sit here, and now you say that. What am I supposed to say to that? That was crazy. That was a good. Yeah, that was nice. And we're going off the rails. I have if people can't tell, I've had my eyes have been watering like the last like 30 minutes of this
the
episode.
lights, dude. We got about 800,000 watts of light just shining right into your retinas.
So I'm doing my Soups impression. So
Soup's watching Love Island right now. Okay, we'll rattle them off real quick. I got Star Wars for you. Ready?
Okay.
One, again, I reiterate, one just has to go. Okay, we got Revenge of the Sith, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and A New Hope.
okay, I'm not gonna lie. This is actually easy for me.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's easy for me.
Okay.
I'll do the same thing. A New Hope.
Really, dude?
Yeah. Yep. Would you agree with that?
I think I would, but what's your reasoning?
Reasoning, I know it's the beginning of the thing, but I know it's the beginning of it. There's something special to me about Return. I've always loved Return.
Yeah.
It just the ending, man. If it doesn't make you feel something, it's cool. And watching back A New Hope, I know it had so much like foundational things for the movie industry as a whole, right? Yeah. And it's huge. So in some ways, maybe I'm whatever, but it's just there's so many scenes that I look back on that I'm like, man, I wish it didn't look so like old, you know? And I know that sounds awful, but when you're comparing two great movies, like it does take it over the edge to me that there's so many moments that I'm just like,
I would love George Lucas to come back with like modern CGI and just
remaster
like, redo that thing,
dude. I need that. So the one that's got to go, New Hope.
Would you agree with this? My take with Star Wars was like pacing-wise, what it sets up, what it establishes, the world it creates. It's the perfect movie, but not the perfect Star Wars movie.
New Hope?
Yeah.
Really?
It's exactly what a movie should be.
Really?
But it's not the perfect Star Wars movie.
That's interesting. I think a lot of people will disagree with that. I think most people would say it's like the quintessential Star Wars movie. It's
I think it's got the best formula of any Star Wars movie because it was George Lucas. He didn't have a formula for Star Wars, so he was just making it like you should make a solid blockbuster.
Okay.
But then he found his footing in Star Wars, and it got a little convoluted with politics and everything.
Yeah.
It's the perfect formulaic movie, but considering what Star Wars became by Revenge of the Sith, it's not the perfect Star Wars movie.
I don't know, because now I'm thinking there's so many scenes in that movie that are so like.
Of course, but you can make an argument for all four of them.
Yeah, I know, but probably more than Revenge or Return. Yeah.
I think Return has to stay just because of that final act.
It's so much fun.
Jabba the Hutt.
It's so much fun.
If we had to pick one thing to go that wasn't Jabba the Hutt's palace, like that whole arc, dude, get it.
Yeah.
Freaking hate that.
I know. I grew up. Return was my favorite Star Wars movie growing up.
So it's probably a more complete movie, but I guess I enjoy just the ending so much of Return that I'd rather watch that.
And you're entitled.
Fine by me.
You're entitled to it.
All right, I think that wraps it up. That very successful One Has to Go.
Yes.
We took on the impossible challenge. One just had to go. I mean, somebody had to do it.
They had to do it.
Somebody had to
step up and do it.
We stepped up and we
did it. We did it.
We selected. And
yes.
It's unfortunate.
Again,
you never want to see one go, but
no.
You had to.
You had to do it. You had to do it. So, anyway, we got a lot coming up. Fantastic Four. Plenty of other stuff. You're going to want to stay tuned. You're going to want to keep riding this train.
Baby.
You want to keep milking the pony. This is all going to be a lot of fun. We're just getting going. We want to keep seeing what you have to say. Keep giving your comments, your feedback, especially for Superman, especially for Fantastic Four, and even reacting to maybe some of the One Has to Go. So maybe there's some takes there.
I have a really good feeling this week. I really would love to see one of our clips go crazy this week and us to have some new listeners by the end of next week. Join the fun. You're missing out.
Yeah.
Again.
Got plenty more to discuss.
What's the point in telling one to go if people aren't around to watch it happen?
That's what it's all about, dude.
Oh, man. All right, we're going to go jump in the pool or stand in front of an air conditioner.
I know.
All right, you ready?
But as always, the river runs deeper when you have a Speedo on.